son, I think it was his son dying, his wife has cancer, he's got problems there, and he's 87 years old.
Now you're unmuted.
Hello. Mm. talking of?
Good morning. We're a little bit delayed this morning. We should be starting in about 5 to 10 minutes. Thank you for your patience.
Okay.
Mr. Rulins, we have Carmela setting some people up in the office, so it'll be a little bit of delay before we start.
Good morning.
Will the video come up once the meeting starts, or I have to hit the video button?
Go. So we should be starting the meeting shortly. Mel, you might want to sit right here. Text me if you have any technical issues, okay?
Okay.
Can you move our window so it's not blocking Mr. Gallagher?
Yes. So what you do is you just
Oh,
touch this.
got it. Okay,
Drag it
that's
to-
easy.
You block me. That's perfect.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, and then you can change so that you don't have to see everybody that way. This, if you click this button here, instead of having a stack, you can do an overlay, which is just a person talking.
Okay.
Focus. As if someone's talking or.
Mr. Gallagher, this is Patty. As you can see, Glenn Murray is acting CBO and he'll be here for the city on behalf of the city. Hi, Glenn.
Okay,
All right.
we're waiting on Carmilla to set some people up and then we'll get underway.
And Mr. Gallagher, this is Patty again. I did inform Carmela and Vishnu that I unfortunately have a funeral, so I'll be logging off at 10:30. I don't anticipate any questions or legal issues on behalf of the city.
Really?
No,
What did you,
no,
did you put it on us now?
no, I'm not. I'm positive that everything will go swimmingly and smoothly. That's what I'm putting into the universe.
There may be one or two issues. We'll see. Just in going over it.
The 9/3/22 on today's document. Yeah, so tell her to look at the date that she's supposed to be here. Okay, yeah, okay. Bye. Okay, Mr. Chairman, we can get started.
Okay, sounds good. I don't see any console people on the board, so I think we can go right straight from the top. We're gonna read the preamble. In compliance with notification requirements of Ohio's open pending meeting law and section 101.021 of the codified ordinances of Cleveland, Ohio, 1976. Notice of this meeting has been publicly posted. All boards and commissions under the purview of the city planning department conducts its meetings according to Robert's Rules of Order. Actions during the meeting will be taken by voice vote. Abstentions from any vote due to a conflict of interest should be stated for the record prior to the taking of any vote. In order to ensure that everyone participating in the meeting has the opportunity to be heard, we ask that you use the raise hand feature before asking a question or making a comment. The raise hand feature can be found in the participants panel on the desktop and mobile version and activated by clicking the hand icon. Please wait for the chair or facilitator to recognize you and be sure to select unmute and announce yourself before you speak. When finished speaking, please lower your hand by clicking on the raise hand icon again and mute your microphone. We will also be utilizing the chat feature to communicate with participants. The chat feature can be activated by clicking the chat button located on the bottom of the WebEx screen. Call-in users can unmute by using *6. All meeting activity is being recorded by way of the WebEx platform. These proceedings are also being live streamed by way of YouTube. All requests to speak on a particular matter by way of our website and email have been considered. We have also received emails from those who have provided written comment on a particular matter. Okay. Ms. Davis, want to call the roll?
She stepped away for 1 second.
Okay.
I can confirm for Patty that, or the meeting that we are live streaming on YouTube.
Thank you. That bumps number one. Number two, Mr. Chairman, I'll just, while we're waiting for Camilla, I will say on behalf of the city of Cleveland, Patricia McGinty Aston, city does object to the use of the chat function, as we have each time since the beginning of the pandemic, and under the rules promulgated by the Ohio Supreme Court at the beginning of the pandemic. And as a basis, we state that if we were still meeting live in room 514, we would not be having side chats during the hearings. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Ashton.
Mr. Maskey,
Yes.
Mr. Bradley,
Unmute, Howard.
Mr. Bradley, Mr. Dink,
Yes.
Mr. Gallagher.
Yes.
We have a quorum.
Okay. We're good to go. All right, we'll call the first docket is a building docket, A522-12524 Kinsman Road.
Application and fees are in order. Notice of violation is interior exterior maintenance issued on December 3rd of 2021. Appeal was received on January 3rd of 2022, requesting for more time. We originally heard this docket on June 8th of 2022. The board was contacted by the appellant. Due to technical issues, he was not able to log on. We have not adopted this resolution as of yet. Back on June 8th of 2022, the board had denied and remanded the structure back to the Department of Building and Housing. Present for the hearing, Glenn Murray, Building and Housing, Patricia Aston Law. With the appellant or his or her representative, please state your name for the record.
Mr. Jackson?
Eric Jackson.
Okay, solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, so help you God.
I do.
Yes, I do.
Okay, all right, very good. Okay, go ahead, tell us what your plans are, Mr. Jackson.
My plans are to repair everything that needs to be done. I didn't have full access to the building because of previous tenant, and I'm working on it every day. And I gave her some pictures to show what I had completed, and I'm working as hard as I can.
Okay. This particular case, and Glenn can bring us up to speed on this, Mr. Murray. I believe that this was remanded back to the city in June, I believe. But I'll go over to Mr. Murray and let him and let us know.
You guys have pictures of yours. So
What's that?
Maurice, could you show the pictures submitted by the Department of Building and Housing, please? Those pictures there were submitted by Mr. Jackson. Okay, those are Building and Housing pictures there.
Is Inspector Davis on this?
No, one second.
Mr. Jackson, has a permit been pulled for this work?
Not of yet. Well, it's some wires that's in the basement that's coming from the electrical box, and those are outlets that I'm not going to use anymore. So I just turned the breakers off.
Mr. Chairman, this is Patty on behalf of the city. As you can see and hear from his testimony, I don't believe Mr. Jackson understands, but I believe this is a commercial property. The photos clearly show there's some structural work having been done, and then those electrical matters that he's stating does require permits. Then since this is a commercial building, I would defer to Mr. Murray, but they may need a contractor to pull it. I don't know. That will be up to the department, the building department, if they can get an owner's permit. Mr. Jackson, do you own this in your own name or in an entity?
Yes, yes, I own it in my own name. Yes, I do.
Okay, so Mr. Chairman, at a minimum, an electrical permit and a building permit will need to be pulled based upon what Mr. Jackson has testified to. So if you are inclined to grant time and reverse the previous decision of denial and remand, we would ask that you give no more than 2 weeks to require permits to be pulled and a short period of time to require the abatement of this, and we would ask for no further extensions and failure to meet any of those dates to immediately remand it. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Murray.
Yeah, I think the initial desire to remand probably was the correct one, and certainly would require permits and inspections. It seems like maybe some of the repairs that have happened so far may not be up to code standards. So I would certainly, if the board thinks it's that we would get anywhere with getting a permit and getting a professional contractor involved, an extension, but a very short one. Otherwise, the remand seems like the initial course was the right one here.
Okay, just the remand, Mr. Jackson, doesn't stop you from continuing and pulling permits and doing all those things. Okay, you continue on. The only thing is you're going to need inspections on this work, especially what's been done with the structural. So we need to get that done, and you need to call in on whoever was on your violation notice. Okay, as an inspector, and set up for them to come out and to inspect the work that's been done, and you can pull permits and get it done, and I would do that right away.
Okay.
So the time issue is it's a matter of we don't know what you've been doing, whether it's been up to code, it needs to be inspected, and by pulling permits you can get all this accomplished, but that's what you need to do. So you need to get moving. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So we're going to stay with the remand on this one, and we're hoping, Mr. Jackson, you move forward, get the permits, get it going, and you will have time if you do that. Okay. But it needs to be inspected on what work you've done already. All right.
Okay. So when you say that remand is still in force, what does that exactly mean?
Well, it means that if you're not doing anything, that the city is not stayed, and they could take you to housing court if you're not going to go on with anything. And there could be fines, there could be a whole lot of things, but you need to, not knowing where this is at, I think we're in a good place with being remanded. You seem like you want to do the work, so there's no problem. There's no problem. You can do the work and continue. There's no problem with that, but you need to get permits. Okay, you can't just start putting things in and doing things. You need to get permits, and if you need help on how something should be shut off and how that should be done, you're probably going to have to go to a contractor that does this kind of stuff to make sure that you're doing it right. Okay.
Okay, not a problem. So
Okay.
you're saying that I got one more question. I could pull a owner's permit too, possibly, or no?
It's up to the city.
No, in this instance, we're going to really need something pulled by a licensed and bonded City of Cleveland registered contractor.
Okay.
Okay, so you need to get working on that and do it right away. Okay.
Okay, I will. And
Okay.
all right.
Okay, notice will be sent to, we're gonna vote on this to make sure that everybody else is on board with with our, okay, our board. So a motion to not give more time, but to keep it remanded to the city for any further action. Motion is in order.
So moved.
A motion by Mr. Denk,
Second.
second by Mr. Maschke.
Mr. Maschke,
Yes.
Mr. Dink,
Yes.
Mr. Bradley,
Howard, you're
Mr.
muted.
Gallagher. Mr. Gallagher.
Yes. Okay, Howard.
Okay.
Okay, Howard has voted. Okay, you'll be notified in 2 weeks. Thank you.
And thank you so much.
You bet. Okay, so next docket is A 4922 3462 East 149th Street.
Application and fees are in order. Notice of violation is interior exterior maintenance issued on March 1st of 2022. Appeal statements was received on March 28th of 2022. Requesting for time to abate the violations. Present for the hearing, Glenn Murray, Building and Housing, Patricia Aston, Law. Would the appellate or his or her attorney or representative please state your name for the record?
Mr. Chairman, this is Patty. I do not see a Steve Towns logged on, who was for Ohio City Investments LLC, listed as the appeal person, the manager. If you want to swear in Mr. Murray, I will go ahead and do my service inquiry.
Okay, Mr. Murray solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, so help you God.
I do.
Okay, go ahead and
Thank
proceed.
you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. To Ms. Davis, did the notice of today's public hearing for this docket A4922 get returned to the board's file for any reason?
No,
And thank you, Ms. Davis. And did you receive any communication on behalf of this docket, voicemail, email, etc.?
no,
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Subject to Ms. Davis not getting anything and notice that there was any technical difficulties after the hearing, the city submits that this board has properly given notice and has met due process requirements and can proceed. Thank you. We'll defer to Mr. Murray. I anticipate the city is going to ask that you deny and remand. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Murray, I have somewhat of an understanding that this may be near completion. I'm not sure what your records are showing, but you can enlighten us.
We have photos.
yeah, Marie should have photos for this particular docket.
Okay, depending upon how recent these were, some of it's been done. Okay, Mr. Murray.
Um, I think I think Ms. Aston's comments were correct that I think we need to remand.
Okay,
I'm not, and again, I apologize. I was kind of brought in at the last minute on this. So don't know the whole history of some of these projects.
And Mr. Chairman, if I could point out, there is a smoke detector and carbon monoxide listed on here as well. Is that water in the? Yeah. But I just wanted to point out the smoke detector and carbon monoxide issues. Thank you.
okay, very good. So start a motion here to deny giving any more time and to remand the property back to the Division of Building and Housing for any further action. Motion?
Moved.
Okay, by Mr. Maschke,
Second.
second by Mr. Dank.
Mr. Maschke,
Yes.
Mr. Dink,
Yes.
Mr. Bradley, Yeah. Mr. Gallagher.
Yes. Okay, they'll be notified in 2 weeks. All right, next docket. A5122, 1362 West Boulevard.
We're gonna have to put this one to the end. I just received a notice. This, attorney is claiming that they cannot log on. No one else from today's hearing or the appellants here is not complaining of any connectivity issues. So we can hold them to the very end
Okay,
to work out their technical issues.
okay, sounds good. Okay, we've got a docket A5522.
Yes.
Okay, so this is 1365 East Boulevard.
One second, Mr. Chairman. I think I might have.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Which docket are you for?
I'm here for A5522, 1365 East Boulevard.
Okay.
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 We can swear everybody in.
Give us 1 second.
Okay,
All right, Mr. Chairman, you want to go ahead and call the docket so we can.
okay, it's 5522 1365 East Boulevard.
Application and fees are in order. Notice of violation is interior exterior maintenance issued on March 23rd of 2022. Appeal was received on April 4th of 2022, requesting for time to abate the violations. Present for the hearing, Glenn Murray, Building and Housing, Patricia Aspen, Law. Would the appellants or his or her representative please state your name for the record?
I'm Nancy Schuster. I'm an attorney and I represent 1365 East Boulevard.
Okay. All right, so we have you have been notified. That's good. All right, we assume that the owner might not have been notified, but you're here, so that we could hear this. Is there anyone else on for this case?
I have asked several people to be present in various locations. They are all having WebEx problems, but I think I can speak for all of them and maybe they'll be on by the time we're ready for them.
Okay, then I'll ask you to solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, so help you God.
I do.
Okay, very good. All right, we can proceed here, I guess. Like I said, originally, the thought was that this was wanting to be reopened. We had heard this case just recently, and I believe we gave 6 months is
No.
what,
Mr. Chairman, no,
yes,
not pertaining to this one.
not pertaining to 5522?
No, this is 1360. This is the first time we're hearing this docket.
Oh, well, we're in good shape then. Never mind. We'll go ahead. We'll go ahead and we'll move forward. Let us know what your plans are.
Okay. First of all, I need to explain to the board about this building. This is a beautiful, as you can see from the pictures, 6-unit apartment building. There are 6 apartments, one on each side of each of the 3 floors. So each apartment extends all the way from the front of the building to the back of the building. In 1949, this building was purchased by a group of 6 families. They were sort of pre-hippie and they wrote up an agreement to live in peace and happiness. Unfortunately, peace and happiness hasn't lasted to the day. But the building is owned, it's a co-op. The 1365 East Boulevard Corporation is owned by 5 people. One of them has 2 units. When you buy a share in the cooperative, you get the right to possess a unit. This unit 6 is on, as you face the building on the right side on the 3rd floor. Unit 5, as you face the building, is on the left side on the 3rd floor. So unit 4 would be underneath unit 6 and then down to unit 2 on the first floor, and the other side is unit 1, 3, and 5. The owner of unit 5 has recently died, as in very recently, within the last month, and her heirs are in accord with the proprietary lease. Her heirs will have the first opportunity to take over her unit. The building is supported entirely by the assessments and fees that each of the possessors pays. They are only tenants in name. The building is only a landlord in name. We really have lessees and lessors here. And they all own at least one share of the building. Mr. Adams, who possesses but does not live in Unit 6, and who also possesses but does not live in Unit 1, has sued the rest of the building 3 times in the last several years, and a member of his family has also sued them. We don't know who made the complaint. We believe it's Mr. Adams. There is a leak on the roof, and apparently it does leak through to Mr. Adams' Unit 6. None of us have ever seen it because Mr. Adams will not permit us into his units. A roofer was hired to repair the roofs over the front porches on each side back in February, and he came to the building and observed those roofs, wrote up a report, and they were in the process of going to assess the members so that they could repair the front porch roofs. In the meantime, this last week, I wrote a rather threatening letter to Mr. Adams' family. Not really threatening, but I wrote them a letter telling them that we could not repair the roof over their unit on the right side of the building because the roofer couldn't get in to see the leak from the inside. And he stated that they were not willing, it's absolute roofing, they were not willing to commence a repair without seeing it from the ceiling inside. This Friday, last Friday of last week, I arranged a meeting with the roofer and Mr. Adams. And in fact, Mr. Adams did appear and permitted the roofer in. So the roofer has now seen the leak. He states that there is a very big hole in the kitchen of Mr. Adams' Unit 6, big enough so that something must have occurred in addition to a roof leak, but he, of course, can't say what. There is a pole that goes up from the plumbing. There's a plumbing pole that goes up through that hole to the roof. He also advises, and the rest of the building knew, that before they re-roofed the left side of the building, approximately 10 years ago, Mr. Adams re-roofed the right side of, of the building on his own. He has not paid assessments, and he does not pay the amount of monthly charge that each of the other members pays, and we're about to do something about that. So that's what's going on here. The roof will be fixed now that we've gotten into the building. Absolute Roofing will be able to do their job. I have Sheba Marcus Bay hopefully on the line, and I'm just going to ask her to introduce herself. She is the chairman of the little board they have. According to law, they have to have a board, and they have one. It takes up 3 of their people.
Okay, go ahead and introduce her.
Sheba, are you here?
Are you able to hear her?
Oh, Lara,
Hi.
Lara Wright Bay. And
Mr.
Sheba,
Chairman, if you could swear
will.
her in, thank you.
Okay, is this the only one we're gonna be hearing from?
I did want the Stephen Sharp, who is the representative of Absolute Roofing, to be on the line, and we arranged for him to be on the line, but we were not able to tell him what time to be available. We
Okay,
didn't.
And Mr. Chairman, and if they could also answer as to the other violations other than the roofing, and just to be very blunt, how long is it going to take? How much time are they asking for?
well,
Uh,
let's
Ask
swear
for
in,
time.
let's
So,
swear
thank
in
you.
the other member first, and then we'll ask. Okay, can she be brought back up? Her name, Laura, what is it?
Laura Wright Bay.
Okay, Miss Day, solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, so help you God?
I confirm.
Okay,
I affirm.
all right, so we're looking at all of the different violations that exist, not just the roof. So what is the plan for those?
Our plans is to correct the issues that are on those violations.
Okay, and that's what you're planning on doing. How much time do you think you need?
All right, thank you.
Um,
Bye.
we're gonna need some time because, as Attorney Schuster has mentioned, that Mr. Adams, who holds 2 of the shares in this building, he has not paid in many months. So we have outstanding legal bills that we are paying prior to this as well.
Okay,
Because of the continued lawsuits that he has done against our building and our small cooperative. It takes away from our repairs.
Well, I think you have assessments for various other repairs that he has he paid them?
Correct. He has not paid any assessments at all prior. So we are dealing with those things as well. I do want to note that in the past, Mr. Adams basically, if there are issues with the roof in the past, and he did not receive board consent to fix the roof, the individuals that he had to fix the roof, he went on ahead and hired some people without the board's consent. And apparently the people repaired it inferiorly.
okay,
Prior to that, that repair, there was some other activities up on a roof that we were unaware of, such as he installed a satellite, and the satellite dish is basically has caused harm to the roof as well, which leaks into his unit. And he's had multiple access to the unit without the board's permission. So with that being said, we are working diligently to get this resolved.
all right, someone joined with their cell phone and it's doubled up, so. You're the chairman of the board,
I'm the treasurer of the board.
you're the treasurer of the board, and so there's action that you are gonna take to straighten out this particular board member?
Yes, we're working with Attorney Schuster on a plan of action currently.
Okay, okay, so you don't know exactly how long you think that it would take to do this because of this entanglement. If it wasn't entangled, how long would you think you'd need?
Your Honor, we have Stephen Sharsh on the line, I see, who is the representative of the roofer and would be able to speak to that question.
And Mr.
Okay,
Chairman, if you could swear him in, and also, Mr. Chairman, on behalf of the city, the corporation's outside legal actions are separate, and although the city is empathetic and understands it, that is one of the hindrances that they may have of an errant rogue member of their cooperative. It does not stop the board and the corporation, it's a separate legal entity that technically owns this, from abating and correcting and doing it and then seeking reimbursement or legal action separate from that and afterwards. But it does have to be fixed. The corporate entity is a person in and of itself, and although it may have some internal turmoil and strife amongst its members, it has to be corrected. It is chosen to be set up this way, and the corporation that owns it as a separate legal entity is obligated to do so. If they cannot provide a definite time, we would ask that you uphold, deny, and remand based upon if they are going to have to do multiple legal actions. That's the action they choose to take. If that's what they're going to do prior to fixing, to get the money to prior to fixing, that's their choice to do that, as opposed to fixing it and then seeking reimbursement. Thank you.
Your
Okay.
Honor, so that there's an understanding without extending this too long. I don't think Ms. Wright Bay was saying that we are going to take action before anything is done. The reason we don't know how long it will take is that the roofer has to tell us. Other than the roof, there is only one violation that I see here. The others are all roof related. Well, there are two. There's a statement that the exterior wood trim needs painting. I think that's something that could probably wait for a little bit. And the rear porch system leaks. That's also at Mr. Adams' level. I'm assuming that subsequent to this hearing, he will permit members of the board to go into the units which he's complaining about, so that the repairs can be made as quickly as possible.
Okay, can we have the name of your roofer again?
Yes, the representative, it's Absolute Roofing. The representative is Stephen Sharf, and I noted that he was on the line.
Okay, I don't see him.
I'm here.
You're here. Okay, go solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, so help you God.
I do.
Okay, go ahead and let us know how much time it's gonna take to repair your end of what you have to do.
Okay, in order to repair the roof, it probably take maybe a couple days to repair. But to get started, based on lead time for materials, it could take 12 weeks or longer, depending on what we need. We don't know for sure based on just the supply chain issues, but it's a pretty good leak, and it might take about a day or two just to complete.
Mr. Sharf,
Okay.
are you able to see what caused the leak?
Yes,
And
based
what was
on based on what I saw walking on the roof, an inferior product was used, and now it is leaking.
Mr.
I'm seeing someone from Landmarks with his hand up. Is
This
this
Mr.
related
Gallagher.
to that? Yes.
Mr. Chairman, to Mr. Sharsh, what is the magnitude of the repair that you're planning? How many square? Does it involve sheathing, replacing sheathing and ice and water shield? How big a job is it?
We're thinking about 4 square right now. We want to get the problem wide so that we don't miss anything. Partially, the repair will be going up the walls near the sewer pipe that's up there and the dish, and towards the end of the building as well. So about 4 square.
Mr. Chairman, to the appellant, are you referring to the back, waterproofing the back of the parapets?
That's correct.
And I'm trying to get an idea of the magnitude of the scope. As we know, repairs do not necessarily require a permit, but at some point a repair might turn into a re-roof, in which case it would require a building permit.
That's correct. We've looked at the re-roofing the entire roof, and we did look at the repair, so it's going to be a significant difference in cost and
Okay.
time.
So we're looking, you were saying you thought 12 weeks would be, you could get it done within that amount of time, abate what needs to be done?
The job can be completed in probably 2 days.
Okay, that could be completed in 2 days, but there's other issues here.
There are, we have a schedule that we follow, and weather permitting and access based on what's going on here today.
Okay,
So
how much time do you think you need to complete it, to abate the violations?
2 days.
Well, yeah,
2
but
days.
no, he wants to know how much time it will take because they need to set up a schedule, which we then have to meet. So
I see.
that's the
This-
reason he's
Yeah,
asking.
Mr. Chairman, this is Patty to the roofer. Do you think you can complete it by the end of the year?
I can't say if we can. We'll see.
Mr. Chairman, the city doesn't, that's actually not that far, the end
I
of the year,
mean,
but so, I think I would defer to Glenn, but I think at August, September, October, end of November is 3 months, end of December is 4 months. Glenn, do you think that would be reasonable?
It's not a complete re-roof. You're talking not a lot of squares of material. I
But
don't
it is there is a supply, he did say there's a supply chain issue, so,
There is, but this is a fairly small job. I would certainly expect this could be done before the end of the year, and you'd want to before the bad weather. And then one more question, Mr. Chairman, to the appellant's representative. One of the other issues was structural issues on the back porch. Have contractors been looking at that yet?
They have not yet looked at that. We just received notice of this at the end of March, and I'm told that is the back stairway is a sort of a combination outdoor fire escape type stairway, and I'm told that it's functional and that the leak doesn't affect the ability to use that stairway if necessary. So we were going to try to take care of the roof and then do the stairway. If the board insists, I'm sure we can get someone out to at least estimate what a full repair of the stairway would cost.
Mr. Chairman, on behalf of the city, that is an egress issue. That is a very important issue. I'm sure Mr. Murray would agree with that, and that we believe that everything should be completed together. And that does need to be corrected. And if you have a report that says something other than it's deteriorated based upon the inspector's violation notice, you can provide that to the city for assessment. But we would insist that it all be done together, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, I agree. So we give you 120 days to complete the abatement of the violations, whatever they exist, which is a December 7th, 2022, which gets you ahead of hopefully the bad weather. So we're going to do that in the form of a motion. So,
does that include the paint, or can we leave the paint off of this?
well, I think we're talking everything. We're talking everything that needs to be done here. You have an association, they get charged whatever it is, and they're going to have to be charged, and you get it painted. You get it painted, you get the back taken care of, and you get the roof taken care of. You got 120 days to go ahead and do it.
Okay, we can do it.
Okay, sounds good to me. Motion is in order.
Mr. Chairman,
Second.
Mr. Chairman.
Okay, motion by Mr. Bradley, second by Mr. Maskey.
Mr. Chairman, could you give me
Yes.
that date again?
December 7th.
The date would be December 7th, 2022. That
Okay.
would be 120 days.
Mr. Maskey,
Yes.
Mr. Bradley,
Yeah.
Mr. Dink,
Yes.
Mr. Gallagher.
Yes. Okay, you'll be notified within 2 weeks. Thank you. Okay, we'll look
Thank
up
you.
you're very welcome. We'll go to the next docket. A3220. Okay, we got 848. Should be 83222. Okay. 10005 Elwell Avenue.
Application and fees are in order. Notice of violation is interior and exterior maintenance. Issued on January 31st of 2022. Appeal statement received February 10th of 2022 requesting for time to abate the violations. Present for the hearing, Glenn Murray, Building and Housing. Patricia Aston Law. Would the appellate or his or her representative please state your name for the record?
Are you saying Lanyata McMichael? I'm not. Lanyata McMichael?
Oh, Miss
Am I the
McMichael.
appellate? Am I
Okay,
the?
that'd be you. Okay.
Okay.
Miss McMichael, do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Okay. All right, go ahead and let us know what your plans are to abate the violations.
My plans is to have the work completed. Everything interior was fine and completed. I had an inspection. I think March or April. I can't remember the date. So what I had left was exterior, which was the shingle, the gutter, and the sewer. My biggest thing, I have had the shingle done. The gutters, I have purchased them and everything. They just have to put them up for me. And my biggest issue is the plumbing. And with that plumbing, I started getting water back up from outside when it rained, not through the walls or anything, but through the sewer. And so it's coming from outside. So I kept, first, I didn't know what was going on. So I kept getting it snaked, like in the spring. It, one time it'll do it. So it started getting a little worse. And we have found that the house next door was torn down. And with me having, I kept calling pollution control and the sewer company, and they kept saying, well, get it, I'm gonna have to get it cameras or something like that. So I started getting like different companies that can do that to come out. And what they were finding was they were like snaking, nothing would come back, and they would snake like 90 feet out. Well, that's not normal for a house. So what they did was they would go out, camera so far, they couldn't see any breakage or anything, and then water. So they couldn't, so they start using a locator. So I had two different companies come out, do a locator two different times because the first time they did the locator, they were able to get the water out. But then once they got the camera so far, the water was murky, so they couldn't see. So what they did was they spray painted. I had pollution control come out and they said that my plumbing shouldn't be going that way. For some reason, my plumbing is going across where the house used to be, which is now a lot, and is going to the corner. At that corner, there's been a pole that has been replaced. This was, I don't know the exact date. I think it's maybe 2017. And it's not, it doesn't belong to Illuminating. So long story short, I've been trying to get them to camera from the street, but they say they won't do anything or camera from the street, only up to the curb. Well, the pole is past the curb. So that's where I've been dealing with because it's not my plumbing. So they recommend that I just relocate my plumbing. So I have gotten estimates of that. That's very expensive. The lowest one is $9,000. So I've just been trying to really figure out how to solve it without relocating all of my plumbing. It looks like I might have to do it, but it's very expensive.
Okay.
Last person I talked to is Alan Sheely. I think that's how you say his name, Schiely. He is the first person that actually sent me a map of the plumbing, not from the houses, but from the street, showing where they are going to the curb. And so, and that is too, because I have been recommended to a plumber that's licensed and bonded, and he required that he wanted to know if more about the plumbing, like how far they went in, is he gonna have to dig in the street or something like that. So I had COVID, so I haven't had a meeting with Sheely, but he sent me an email that we can both come in and have a meeting and kind of try to resolve it better. This is my first time ever talking to him, so hopefully he can help.
Okay, so outside of that issue, how much time do you think you need?
Outside of the sewer,
Yeah,
the only thing I have left is downspout. But I see pictures. I see the pictures you submitted,
yes.
and that wasn't on my violation. Of course, I could that lattice is up, that back porch is painted, the screen is in the, but that was just something from summer, just going around the house repairing anyway, but I didn't see that on my violation list.
What about the
Um,
roof?
the roof is done. I sent those pictures
Okay,
in through
all right.
email.
So you're
Mr.
close to
Chairman, I'm
done with
sorry,
the,
this is Patty. Do you live at this property, ma'am, or is this a rental?
It was a rental. Um, it I can't rent it until the things are done. So I'm probably, well, this was a rental before
So you
before.
don't live there. Thank you. That's what I was looking for. Thank you.
okay, let's
Okay.
go to Mr. Murray.
Mr.
Murray.
Chairman, to the appellant, I saw in some photos, have the smoke and carbon monoxide detectors been installed?
Actually, they were installed. He
Okay,
wanted them inside the bedrooms. So I have sent, those pictures were submitted back in February also.
uh,
So I
Mr.
had
Chair,
smoke detectors on each level, but he wanted them inside the bedrooms also. So I did those.
and
Okay.
is this sump pump I see, has that been made functional? It looks like you have a sump drain in the basement with a sump
It
pump
was
in.
functional at the time also.
Okay,
Yeah, so all my issues are exterior. So that the sump pump was functional all along. So
So it sounds like she has just about everything taken care of outside of that sewer line. Is that what I'm hearing?
yes.
Okay. So, Mr. Murray, how much time do we think we want to give for get the sewer line done? Sounds like she's working on it.
I'm sorry, I got one question. In that lower left,
Yes,
that looks like a column
yes.
on the porch. That has not been I haven't even he didn't even bring that to my attention and it's not on my violation list. So yes, that'll be taken care of. That'll be taken care of also.
Okay,
So it would be that and that major sewer issue. But everything else is done. And that should be really in the report from
okay.
the okay.
So,
Mr. Chairman,
go ahead.
I would defer to the board on the length of time. It's currently in our own best interest to get this fixed and rented as soon as possible. And I guess everybody is suffering from the same delays, so whatever the board decides, the building department concurs.
Okay, well, I'll ask the board about 60 days, which would be October 7th, to complete all the violations. Board members?
So moved.
Okay,
I'm
motion. Second by Mr. Bradley.
I'm
Um,
sorry.
oh, is this, Ms. McMichael, you have a question?
Yes. October 7th, I'm sure I'm not gonna have $10,000. So what do I do if I can't with this meeting with the plumber and Mr. Sheely? Or I'm sorry if I'm not saying his name right, but what do I do?
Well, I'm not exactly sure, but, this is a building and, it's gonna in some way or shape or the other, maybe hopefully it won't cost that much, but,
the list of things she has.
You know, if you don't think that you're gonna have the funds to do it, I'm gonna end up having to remand it. And I would rather give you some time and let you go ahead and see if you can get it resolved.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Okay, so, call the roll. I think it was, Mr. Maskey and,
Yes.
okay. Mr. Dank,
Yes.
Mr. Bradley,
Yes.
and myself, yes. Okay, you will be notified in 2 weeks then, of the decision of the board. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
And this is
Okay.
Patty, Mr. Gallagher. That was October 7th of 2022. Is that correct?
That's correct, 60
Thank you.
days, yes, that is correct. Okay, we'll get the next docket, which is, A 4822 3249 East 132nd Street. We'll wait for Carmella to come back in with us.
Application and fees are in order. Notice of violation is interior and exterior maintenance issued on March 11th of 2022. Appeal statement received March 28th of 2022, requesting for time to abate the violations. Present for the hearing, Glenn Murray, Building and Housing, Patricia Aston, Law. With the appellant or his or her representative or attorney, please state your name for the record.
Mr. Chairman, this is Patty. This looks like it's the same person from the previous docket, Ohio City Investments, by the manager Stephen Towns, who I do not see listed in the participants panel. If you swear in, Mr. Murray, I will do my service inquiry.
Okay, Mr. Murray solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, so help you God?
I do.
Okay, proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. To Ms. Davis. Ms. Davis, did the notice of today's WebEx public hearing get returned to the board's file for any reason?
No.
Thank you. And did you receive any communication, email, voicemail, fax, et cetera, from this appellant or on behalf of this docket?
No.
Thank you, Ms. Davis. So, Mr. Chairman, it appears the board has given proper due process notice, subject to anything after the matter where Ms. Davis is notified that there was problems. And I anticipate the city's going to ask that you uphold the 9 remand. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Murray,
Remand.
was that it? You want to deny?
Yeah, remand. Yeah, deny remand.
Okay, all right. So we got a motion to deny any more time, remand it back to the Division of Building and Housing for any further action. Motion's in order.
So moved.
Okay, Mr. Dank, Mr. Bradley, second.
Mr. Maskey,
Yes.
Mr. Bradley,
Yes.
Mr. Dink,
Yes.
Mr. Gallagher.
Yes. Okay, they'll be notified in 2 weeks. We'll call up the next docket is A 5022. See if we have that up there. It's 1197 East 146th Street.
Application and fees are in order. Notice of violation is no permit, interior and exterior maintenance, and unauthorized illegal use. Issued on March 3rd of 2022. Appeal was received on March 20th of 2022, requesting for more time to abate the violations. Present for the hearing, Glenn Murray, Building and Housing, Patricia Aston, Law. With the appellant or his or her representative or attorney, please state your name for the record.
Paul Rollins, Rollins.
Okay, Mr. Rollins, if you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead and let us know what your plans are.
Well, I just need more time to finish up. It's basically a money thing for me. I actually moved. I'm living in a property. It's a family home. My sister lives up on the 2nd floor, and my father's in the basement downstairs. And I just need more time to get the money together and get everything done. I'm pretty mechanically inclined. I did put in for some permits I heard her mention something about it. To my knowledge, they were all approved. If they wasn't, then I need to go back and find out about that. But about probably 75, 80% of everything is done. That's on the list. I think it was like 30 violations or so. So I just need a little more time to get things completed and get some more money in line.
How much more time do you think you need?
I'm just gonna say about a month or two. I'm just gonna say 2 months, just on the
Okay.
safe side, in case something comes up in between time.
Okay, Mr. Murray.
Building department has no objections.
Okay, so we will give you the 2 months to abate the violations. That would be October 7th, 2022. And that would be 60 days. Motion so in order.
So move.
Motion by Mr. Bradley,
Second.
second by Mr. Maskey.
Mr. Maskey,
Yes.
Mr. Bradley,
Yes.
Mr. Dink,
Yes.
Mr. Gallagher.
Yes. Okay, you'll receive notice within 2 weeks. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Okay, next docket. A 5222, 3077 East 67th Street.
Application and fees are in order.
I can't hear nothing.
Is this Mr. Denham? Mr. Denham, we're just calling your case. We're gonna.
I can't hear nothing.
Okay. You might have to call in.
I got all the outside
One
done,
sec.
but I'm still having trouble hearing.
Mr.
But I
Denham,
just had got a tenant out of the house.
Okay.
And,
Mr. Chairman, you
I
haven't
just
sworn
need a
anybody
couple
in.
months
He
to
can't
finish that done.
give testimony
He can't hear me to stop him. Unless he got some magic dust. Okay. Go
can't
ahead,
hear.
Carmela, and read the case.
application and fees are in order. Notice of violation is interior and exterior maintenance issued on March 16th of 2022. Appeal was received on March 18th of 2022, requesting for time to abate the violations. Present for the
can't
hearing,
hear
Glenn Murray, Building and Housing, Patricia Ashton Law.
Trying to hear.
With the appellant or his or her representative or
Let me see here.
attorney, please state your name for the record.
Mr. Denham, can you hear us?
Hello?
Yes. Mr. Denham. Okay, now we can't hear you.
Can't hear you.
Unmuted.
Okay. So we're having technical difficulties. We can move on.
Can someone talk?
Okay, can you hear us, Mr. Denham? We got
Don't
you.
hear nothing.
We got you back again. Can you hear us?
I don't know I don't know what's the value. I can.
It's your microphone.
Find is there a number I can call or something? Or
Okay.
kind of.
You can sit here.
Can you hear us? Mr. Denham, can you hear?
That's when you leave.
Okay, what are we reading here? Okay.
Oh.
That was a nice try.
Hi, my name's
Try,
Allison.
Glenn.
We're on the video right now, the WebEx. We can't hear anything, and I don't know if they can hear us.
We can't.
Waverly, can you? Waverly,
No,
if you can hear me, can you
I don't know if they can hear us or not. So I can't hear them.
send
My
them
phone.
the email?
Something happened where the
Send them
volume
the number on the email.
Well, we're gonna have to mute them.
No.
Because if they can't hear us, it isn't gonna
Yeah, I
work.
can't.
Okay, thank you. All right, we're gonna move on to, we'll come back.
Excuse me, I have the Denhams are on my phone right now.
Okay.
Waverly,
All
I'm
right.
giving the number to call in.
Hey, you gonna give me the number?
Yeah.
So you can mute yourself and just give them the number on the WebEx invite. We're gonna move on to the next docket.
Okay, got
Okay, so we'll move on to docket A5322, 15928 Kipling Avenue.
Application and fees are in order. Notice of violation is interior and exterior maintenance and no permit issued on March 9th of 2022. Appeal statement was received on April 9th of 2022, requesting for more time to abate the violation. Present for the hearing, Lynn Murray, Building and Housing, Patricia Aston Law. With the appellant or his or her attorney representative, please state your name for the record.
Good morning, my name is Daniel Baca.
Okay. Mr. Baca, can you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, so help you God?
I do.
Okay. We'll go ahead and, what's your plans?
Well, I'm about 50% through. I pulled permits for the electrical and it's been approved. And I am waiting on the plumber to pull his permit. I pulled them myself, but I was unable to follow through with that. So I have to have the contractor go ahead and re-pull them. And I spoke to my inspector last week and we agreed that I was at least 50% through and that I should ask for more time. And with that, with all the issues involved, I would respectfully ask for at least 4 or 5 more months, please. And I'm sure I can remedy everything by then. And I just want to get everything settled. That's all. Thank you.
Okay, we'll go to Mr. Murray.
Mr. Chairman, to the applicant, have you repaired the exhaust for the water heater?
Where the vent goes into the chimney, yes.
Do you have tenants in this building?
I do.
Okay. Have you installed the smoke and
Yes,
carbon
we have.
monoxide detectors?
I might have 1 carbon monoxide detector yet,
Okay.
or 2 maybe.
And I'm trying to focus on what might be the life safety issues.
Yes, and that's my concern also. And as I said, I've tried to remedy all those. It's a lot of littler things, you know, that just happen over time. So wear and tear type of things.
Mr. Chairman, the building department would not have any issues with granting an extension.
Okay, well, he was looking for 4 or 5 months to complete the abatement of the violations.
And how long have you wanted so far?
Yes, well, that's why I said, because from the time the initial complaint to now, it's been about 4 months. So I figured another 4 or 5 months should be adequate.
Well, initial complaint, how long's the contractor been working on it?
The electrician was hired like a month and a half ago or 2 or so, and then he just finished and we got re-inspected. So I have to do the same thing with the plumber.
Mr. Chairman, it seems like maybe that time is excessive, but the building department will defer to your recommendation on the time.
Okay, so if we hold it down to like 90 days to abate the rest of the violations, we're getting into November 7th with 90 days, 2022.
Just to be safe, may I ask for December 7th?
Mr. Chairman, the building department would have no objection to that.
All right, we'll do that then. We'll go to December 7th for 120 days, 2022. Motion is in order. Motion by Mr. Bradley.
Second.
Second by Mr. Dank.
Mr. Maschke,
Yes.
Mr. Bradley,
Yeah.
Mr. Dink,
Yes.
Mr. Gallagher.
Yes. Okay, you'll get a notice within 2 weeks. Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen and ladies.
Good luck.
Okay. All right, so we go, next docket is, we'll keep moving forward, I guess. Docket 5622 for 4004 East 74th Street.
Application and fees are in order. Notice of violation is exterior maintenance issued on March 10th of 2022. Appeal statements was received April 7th of 2022. Requesting time to abate the violations. Present for the hearing, Glenn Murray, Building and Housing, Patricia Aston Law. With the appellant or his or her representative, please state your name for the record.
We're not seeing anybody? Okay, let me, I guess I'll just, I'll ask. You still with us, Pat? You still with us, Miss Austin?
She had to leave for her funeral.
Okay, go ahead, Ms. Davis, and let us know what the status of this and whether there was any problems in notification.
The board did send out this notice by certified mail. We have not received that notice back or any of the other letters. I've reached out to this appellant on 60 days, 30 days, and 10 days before the hearing, still with no response back. In my opinion, and we can ask our board lawyers, that we did do our due process of trying to provide service of notice of this hearing for today.
Okay, I don't know if we have anybody on, but if not, we'll go to Mr. Murray.
This is frustrating. They look like relatively minor issues.
We haven't sworn them in yet.
Oh,
Okay, I'm sorry. Solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, so help you God.
I do.
Okay, go ahead, Mr. Murray.
Frustrating. It looks like relatively minor issues, but we're not getting any response. So would the board consider remand?
Absolutely. Okay, so we'll deny any more time, and we will remand it back to the Division of Buildings and to take care of any other further action with this particular case. So move. Okay, Mr. Maskey.
Yes.
Okay.
Mr.
All right.
Sorry.
Yes.
Mr. Bradley? Mr. Dink?
Yes.
Mr. Gallagher?
Yes. Okay, they'll be notified in 2 weeks. All right.
I know.
Go to the next
Because we
docket.
were on it and then a phone call come on, so I denied it. And then after that, just the sound went out, so I don't know what happened.
Are you on with that appellant, Miss Austin? I mean, I'm sorry, Miss Davis?
Waverly, my assistant is trying to work with her. I'm trying to communicate with her now. Give me 1 second.
Okay.
Excuse me, I was talking to her on the phone and it's coming through on the docket. Okay.
Mr. Gallagher, what case number is this?
What was that again? We're checking on the last case that we're waiting to hear from them on. It would be docket 5222.
Yeah, we still
Okay.
have 5722 to go and
Right.
5122.
And 5122 that we moved to the end.
5122 as well.
Yeah, we got 2 more, but I didn't know if we had them on where we can hear from them. If were you working with them, Carmelo? I mean, yeah.
I'm sorry, working with which appellant? Mr.
Yeah, with 5222. Were they able to hear us and
Though, that's the appellant you can hear talking now. I'm trying to.
Can you hear us?
I still can't hear you. She give me a number to call. I'm gonna call it now. I can't hear. I don't know what happened.
Okay, you can't hear. Okay.
I'm gonna call that number.
Well, all right, we're gonna move
We're on the
on.
phone trying to get transferred over to you.
Okay, we're moving on to the last two cases, and then we'll come back to you. We'll come back. So we've got time extension docket A5722, 1286 West Boulevard.
Application and fees are in order. Notice of violation is exterior maintenance. This is a time extension request. We originally heard this docket under 5221 back on October 13th of 2021. The board granted the appellant until April 1st of 2022 to complete abatement of the violation. Present at today's hearing is Glenn Murray, Building and Housing, Patricia Aston Law. Would the appellant or his or her representative please state your name for the record?
Greg Rexedler.
Yeah, Mr. Rexedler, would you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, so help you God?
I do.
Okay. All right, go ahead and let us know what the plans are here.
I just need to the end of the month and I can get everything finished.
Okay. I don't know that it's been remanded. If he just keeps working on it, he's set. Mr. Murray.
No objection from the building department.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, was this the one that needed the scaffolding? They were waiting for scaffolding. Yeah, no exception, no exception from the building department. Looks
Okay.
continues to progress.
Okay, so we'll leave it as is. Just continue. The place looks great. Keep doing what you're doing. Get your final inspection. You're all set.
All right, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
Their abatement day was April 1st of 2022, and they filed to get more time added on to that.
Yeah, I'm just saying, that's why I went to Mr. Murray, and he didn't have an issue with them just continuing and completing it.
Mr. Chairman, I'm sorry. Let's give them some dead certain date.
Okay.
And that way we've got something to work to.
Okay. Well, we can do that. We get 30 days to complete the violations, to close it out. So that would be September 7th, 2022.
Give them the September 30th.
September 30th.
Whatever the end of the month is.
The end of the month. Okay, so we'll go to, let's make sure on the calendar here. So September 30th would be the end of the month, 2022.
So moved.
Okay, motion by Mr. Maskey.
Second.
Okay, second by Mr. Ding.
Mr. Maskey,
Yes.
Mr. Bradley,
Yes.
Mr. Dink,
Yes.
Mr. Gallagher.
Yes. Okay, you'll get a notice within 2 weeks. Thank you.
Thank
All
you.
right, the last docket that we have, well, it won't be the last, but anyways, we'll get permit extension for housing, docket A5422, 890 East 75th Street.
Application and fees are in order. This is an appeal to keep the following permit open to continue work, which would be B200-28367. That was issued on November 18th of 2022. The appellant is requesting 6 additional months to complete the abatement of the condemnation order that was on this property. Present for the hearing, Glenn Murray, Building and Housing, Patricia Ashton Law. Would the appellant or his or her representative or attorney please state your name for the record?
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay, hi, I'm Chris Ford.
Okay,
I'm
Mr. Ford, I solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, so help you God.
I do.
Okay, very good. Go ahead and tell us what the plans are.
Okay, so just to let you know why we got in the predicament, we bought the house at an auction, my wife and I, and I'm a licensed and bonded general contractor, and I stay really busy, and kind of since the pandemic, my wife's been home with the kids, and she kind of took it upon herself to take care of it as like her project. And basically I owe everything that's been done to the house in the recent couple months. I owe to pretty much my wife getting on it and taking care of everything. But as you can see, we got the house sided, new roof. I rebuilt the front porch. The house right now stands at about, I would call it 85% completion. We have yet to like totally finish the interior as far as the mechanicals, of course, because it's kind of a rough neighborhood. So we wanted to wait till we was like really there. I think my wife actually submitted newer pictures. Like those are, hey, there it goes right there. That's kind of how it stands right now. And basically, yeah, we just need a little more time because I'm just super busy.
Okay. No one's living here?
No.
Okay. Is this, you're gonna live here when it's done or rent it?
No, sir. We plan to rent.
Okay. All right, Mr. Murray.
Mr. Chairman, the building department would have no exceptions to an extension. How long is the applicant looking for to complete the job?
Mr. Ford?
Well, it's one of those situations, kind of like with a prior situation I heard you guys speaking to the roofer. I actually need maybe a good week to knock this house out. I'll probably need a good 3 months to find that week.
Okay, I gotcha. All right, so November 7th would be 90 days, 3 months, 2022. Motion in order.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
that is under that permit, the previous permit that was issued in 2022 is what we're extending that to, correct?
Yes, this is what we're extending it to. That is correct. Okay, we have a motion.
Second.
A second by Mr. Dank. Call the roll.
Mr. Maschke,
Yes.
Mr. Bradley,
Yes.
Mr. Dink,
Yes.
Mr. Gallagher.
Yes. Okay, you'll be notified in 2 weeks of the decision. Thank you.
Everybody have a great day.
Thank you.
Good luck,
Do the
sir.
same. Okay, so
5122.
let's see. Do we have them?
They're 52.
5222?
52 or 51, whichever one you want to.
I'm here.
Okay, who's this for? Who's the I'm here?
51.
51?
Scott Dillon.
Okay, very good. Let's take a look what I got. Okay, 5122, 1362 West Boulevard.
Application and fees are in order. Notice of violation is interior and exterior maintenance issued on March 3rd of 2022. Appeal statement was received on March 28th of 2022 requesting for time to abate the violations. Present for the hearing, Glenn Murray, Building and Housing, Patricia Aston, Law. Would the appellate or his or her representative or attorney please state your name for the record?
Scott Dillon.
Okay, sir, would you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Let's see what we have here. Can you go ahead and explain to us and how much time it's going to take to abate the
I need
violation?
at least 2 or 3 months because I'm kind of had my foot amputated right now, my toes amputated. But I got the tenant out of the house, and I just need to get the violations done inside the house. So it'd be like 2-3 months, but I fixed the back porch, fixed the front porch, painted the back porch, got the smoke detectors, carbon dioxide detectors, hand railing in the basement I got put up, and I just need, I had the terminating done twice, and I just need to fix the exhaust fan, the sink, and adjust the windows, and it'll be done, and clean the whole house up because it's a mess from the tenant.
Okay, so you're thinking maybe 3 months to complete?
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Murray?
We're, Mr. Chairman, to the appellant, how many stories is your building?
Well, I got a residential house,
Oh, this
the
is,
purple house.
this is A5222, 3077 East
This is-
67th Street.
Yes.
Okay, we have the wrong photos pulled up.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
But I saw them before when we looked at them. Looked like you had Mr. Chairman, to the appellant, you'd reframed the back porch or repaired the railings on the back porch?
Yes, I repaired them and painted the whole back porch and everything. And then I fixed the front porch, and the inspector came out and checked it all. And I put the new hand railing up, and I bought the smoke detectors, and I did all the carbon dioxide detectors, and I did the handrail in the basement.
Oh, he called in.
Yeah. 1 second, Mr. Chairman, did you call docket 5122 or 5222?
We called 5122 because he was the one that was on. We didn't have 5222 on.
This is 5222 that he's describing.
Is this, sir, Mr. Ford? Is that who this is?
No,
Yeah.
this is Mr. Denham.
Huh? We've got Mr. Ford on, right?
No, Mr. Denham.
Who?
This is Mr. Denham is on right now.
Oh, Denham.
Yes.
Okay. So
And
this
that's
should be
3077 East 67th Street.
Yes.
all right. So yes, all right. Let's go to that docket 5222. That's what this is. And Mr. Denham, what you're describing is that you need 3 months to abate the violations?
Yes.
Maurice, can you
Mr.
go
Murray.
to the other slides, please?
What was this?
We're asking Maurice to pull up Mr. Denham's building so we can see.
5222.
Yes, 5222. Mr. Chairman, to the applicant, exactly what do you have left? It looked like you really accomplished a lot of work so far on the rest of the building.
Yes, I did. I got the bathroom sink, the exhaust fan, the kitchen sink to fix the bottom, and just fix the 2 windows to make them open.
Okay. Well, Mr. Chairman, to the appellant, why 3 months? That seems like
I'm disabled.
Oh, go ahead.
I'm doing the work myself, and I get I'm injured right now, so I'm just I'm working as I can work.
Mr. Chairman, building department would have no objection to 3 months.
Okay, so we're looking at November 7th, 2022 to abate the rest of the violations. Motion?
Okay.
So moved.
Second.
Okay,
Mr.
motion by Mr. Dank, second by Mr. Maskey.
Mr. Maskey,
Yes.
Mr. Bradley,
Yes.
Mr. Dink,
Yes.
Mr. Gallagher.
Yes. Okay, you will receive notice within 2 weeks. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Okay, so are we going back to 5122?
Yes.
Correct.
Okay, 5122. Okay, that's 1362 West Boulevard.
Application and fees are in order. Notice of violations is interior and exterior maintenance, issued on March 3rd of 2022. Appeal was received on March 28th of 2022, requesting for time to abate the violations. Present for the hearing, Glenn Murray, Building and Housing, Patricia Ashton, Law. With the appellant or his or her representative or attorney, please state your name for the record.
So we're not seeing anyone,
He just popped up a second ago.
oh, he did?
I think so. And he had his phone sideways.
Oh, no, that was still the
That was-
Denims.
No, that was
It was another one?
different guy.
Okay.
Yeah, I see the violations are.
Well, he's been notified, right? Correct?
Yes, no notice have been returned. The appellant has not reached out to the board. The notices went out 60 days, 30 days, and again, 10 days before today's hearing.
Okay. All right, we'll call on Mr. Murray. Solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, so help you God.
I do. Mr. Chairman, because this is a multi-family building, unless he can get through to us, I would say remand for no extension.
Just remanded. Okay, so we're gonna deny any more time, request for any time, and to remand it back to the Division of Building and Housing for any other actions that need to be taken. Okay, motion, so in order?
So move.
Second.
Okay, motion by Mr. Bradley, second by Mr. Dink.
Mr. Maschke,
Yes.
Mr. Bradley,
Yes.
Mr. Dink,
We just had
Yes.
somebody.
Mr. Gallagher.
Yes.
What do you say?
Mr. Chairman, we just had somebody pop up, a Waverly Bowens.
No, that's my assistant.
Oh, that's your assistant.
Okay, they'll be notified in 2 weeks. And
Yes.
all right. Is there anything else that's outstanding with motion for any of the dockets? We all set? We covered them?
We're all
right.
set.
Okay, we're gonna go on with approval of resolutions, 838-22, 839-22, 840-22, 841-22, 842-22, 843-22, 844-22, 845-22, 846-22, 847-22, A102-22, and A105-22. Motion?
So move.
Second.
Okay, motion by Mr. Bradley, second by Mr. Dank.
Mr. Maschke,
Yes.
Mr. Bradley,
Yes.
Mr. Dink,
Yes.
Mr. Gallagher.
Yes. We'll go for approval of the minutes, July 20th, 2022. Are there any additions or corrections?
No.
Motion is in order.
So move.
Mr. Bradley, Mr. Dank,
Mr. Maschke,
Yes.
Mr. Bradley,
Yes.
Mr. Dink,
Yes.
Mr. Gallagher.
yes. Is there any other business?
No.
Okay, we are
How's
adjourned.
Tom?
How's Tom?
Yeah.
We're
Anybody
still
have?
live.
Oh,
We're still live, Mr. Bradley.
I didn't hear you.
We're still live.
Oh, we'd have to shut